Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, and welcome to Linda's Lounge, Awakening the Consciousness, and I'm your host, Linda Summers, and we've got a beautiful show for you today. Our topic is Awakening the Goddess in Every Woman through Goddess Embodiment, Photo Experience, and Portrait Art with Yelena, Photographer of Joy. And I'd like to give you a little bit of information about Yelena before we get started on the show. In her native Eastern European country of Belarus, Yelena was an established language instructor, journalist, translator, and poet. She taught Polish at the Belarusian State University of Culture in Minsk, and she published poetry and articles on arts, culture, linguistics, relationships, and beauty. Yelena discovered her love of photography as a teenager. Though it was a favorite hobby, it wasn't until she was nearing the completion of her PhD in Slavic linguistics that she realized photography was more than a hobby. It was a passion, one that she wanted to pursue as a career. After relocating to the U.S., Yelena became a professional photographer and opened her studio, Yelena, Photographer of Joy, in 2005. The name signifies her mission to create joyful, creative portraits that capture the soul of the people she photographs. The wide range of her past professional experiences makes her a rare talent among photographers. And after 10 years of a wildly successful photography business in Bloomington, Indiana, Yelena has relocated to La Jolla, California as of October 2014. And with that, I'd like to welcome Yelena to the show. Yelena, are you there?
Hi. Hi, Linda. Hi, everyone. My
pleasure.
Great
to have you.
It's my honor to be on your show, Linda. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. Well, I really kind of want to ask you, you had described goddess embodiment, but how did you discover, that's such an incredible word. It's such a powerful word. How did you discover goddess embodiment?
It's been a long process of 10 years. I started my photography business 10 years ago, and I was doing actually goddesses right away, but it was kind of like a project on the side. I established myself as a family photographer, child photographer, and goddess photography. I was doing something like my fine art project on the side, until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I'm like, wow, I've been doing that. Why don't I offer it to my clients, And it started because I noticed how women just don't know even how accept a compliment. I would see a beautiful woman. I'll tell her how beautiful she is, and she wouldn't know how to accept it, And I will have clients who come to me for family portraits, and they'll say, "Oh, let's do something." And just a little bit of yourself, and she's like, no, it's all about my children. I don't want it about me. And then I started to feel no, that's not right, I need to change it. So, yeah, I started with goddess embodiment photo session to help women to love the way they look, to love their bodies, be more accept about how they look, and just help them to love themselves.
Mm-hmm. Which is such a huge thing, because you also mentioned about low self-esteem, So I think it brings that to light. So when you're behind the camera, how does that all happen? How do you bring out the goddess in a person? Because it's I can imagine, behind a camera, and it's oh my gosh, well, how do I move? And, So,
there is a magic. Yeah, there is a magic behind all this creative process. But I'm happy to say there are a few components that make, goddess experience, goddess photo session. So first of all, I never do it in a studio. It's always outside in nature, because I truly believe when a woman connects to nature, truly connects to nature, the divine part of herself becomes easily and effortlessly. So being in nature really helps. I cannot even imagine it would happen in a studio with all this artificial lighting, because many people like automatically feel constricted, in the studio environment. So this is why I do it in nature. So that's one component.
It's so hard to hear you there.
Say again, please?
It was a little hard to hear you, so I'm not sure if there's some background, but it was a little hard to hear you a little bit.
You're breaking up a little bit as well. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's better. So would you say that you I'm sorry? Yeah, you can. Yeah, I would. Yes, please. That would be great.
Okay.
You were talking about how nature and women, how they connect with nature.
Yes, that being in natural environment, it helps women feel a divine part of themselves. So that's one component of Goddess photo session. Another part of that is I have 125 dresses in my collection. So when women come to me, they feel playful, they feel in their, more in their feminine essence, like having all these dresses and trying them on. It's like playing dress up, I had one time a woman who came to me. She hasn't worn a dress like in 10 years or something like that. She constantly wears pants, and she even wasn't sure why she came to me, But then when she saw all these dresses, immediately playful part of her came out, a little girl inside her came out, So this is what I do. And plus, so many women live in their masculine energy, they're doing masculine jobs, they wear, all these business suits. So this is opposite of that, bringing them to their feminine essence.
A balance.
Yeah.
Would you also say that props are another way of being able to help them in the facilitation of bringing that goddess out?
Linda, I'm so sorry. You're breaking up. Linda, you're breaking up. I can hardly hear you. What's going on with the connection?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, what about props? I know with the outfits, it definitely would be able to bring that out, but you also use props as part of that.
Yeah, sometimes I ask my clients to bring their favorite flowers, like live flowers if they want. And I have hundreds different props, different headers, different accessories besides the dresses to create a certain goddess image. And when I speak goddess, it's not only a goddess, it can be an angel, it can be a fairy, because some women, they embody this essence, and I can be intuitive and feel it. You have an angelic presence about you, or you have a fairy essence about you, and then we portray that through our goddess photo session.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see where that would definitely, it's very cool that you have all the props and the outfits that kind of bring everything to light, which kind of leads me into the next question, about beauty. I think that there's so much that we see on the TV, we see in the magazines about how beauty's supposed to look, and I think it really gives really beauty is. So I think that's really interesting as well, how you talk about the perception of what beauty looks like, that people have these perceptions.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with this media programming, how beauty is supposed to look. No, this is what this is one of the reasons exactly why I do what I do, to show women that every woman is beautiful, doesn't matter her age, her size, and who says what beauty is? We can create our own definition of beauty. Seriously.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about, too, which this is really important, and you and I talked a little bit about this before the show, is that how we live in such a digital world. Everything is on the phone or in the computer, and we don't have pictures anymore. So you bring that into play, which, having wall portrait. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm happy to talk about that. So, think about royal families, right? When you go to their palaces, their castles, they always have huge, larger-than-life portraits of their ancestors or themselves, right? And why is that? And we're not worse than royalty. This is my mission, to bring it back. This is what royalty have. We can have that for ourselves, because when you have a portrait of yourself in the walls in your house, it's a statement, and it has nothing to do with narcissism. It's a statement that you are someone important, someone special, someone valuable. That you love yourself and you matter.
I love that.
Basically, it's not even so much about the beauty, and of course it is about your beauty, but also about self-worth. And when you have this portrait, why it's so important to have it on the wall in large size? Because if it's small one, you will hardly ever see it. More likely only when you dust it. But when you have a large size portrait, you can enjoy it from the distance, and also tangible versus digital, right? Tangible, physical portrait, and mostly I do photographic images on canvases. So let's say it's a canvas portrait, and it has energy. And it's totally different than digital. It has energy, and this is very powerful, high vibration energy, because it's, from our goddess embodiment for the experience, where we were having fun, we were playful, and the woman, the subject was in her feminine essence. So all these beautiful, wonderful memories, energy, intention behind this portrait. And when a woman sees this portrait, she relieves this moment again. She feels this energy, and it feeds her soul. And it, makes her feel more happy, more joyful. Again, she connects to her feminine essence, to this energy of nature, and just raises her vibration.
I love that. That's so true. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a caller on the line as well. It's caller from area code 812. Would you like to, do you have a question for Yelena?
Well, thank you, Linda. I had heard that Yelena, photographer of exquisite joy, was going to be on the call today, so I just had to call in and put in my 2 cents worth, because I am one of Yelena's previous clients and hope to be in the near future. I know it would involve me having her travel, and I'm preparing for that. I am preparing to do another session with Yelena. So she's
awesome.
So yeah, the investment that I made into her service years ago. I don't know, Yelena, how many years ago was that? I don't even know, because I don't know. Because
I think it was 2007 or 2008, something like that.
Something like that. Well, anyway, when I look at these photos of myself, some are with myself and my son, some are with myself and the dog, some are with myself and my parents and my son. Because I knew I wanted to get a bang for my dollar with Yelena, I scheduled it for when my parents were visiting from Iowa, and it's like the photos are timeless. They really are, and I have them plastered all over my home, and they are they're really, I say, the signature of my home, because it's such an incredible way to capture the essence of me and my home and my family. So I just think Yelena is the best kept secret. She embodies a joyful goddess herself, and like, I'm a happy, playful person. And then at one point in my photo session, she said, "Cindy, you need to put on these wings." And I looked at her. Me put on wings? It's like, excuse me, Elaine. She said, "Well, no, really, let's just try it." So here I am out in my land, and I put on these wings. And I tell you, it just so happens that is my favorite picture. And I have that one in my bedroom. It's the first image I wake up to. And it reminds me of who I really am as a woman, as a mother, as a servant on this planet. And I'm just so... I just had to get on and say something. So thank you. I'm glad you saw my number.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, you know what, and I really appreciate it, because it was one of the questions I was going to ask Yelena was about how, you were mentioning when you put on those wings, like at first you were like, I don't really know, and how's it going to feel? And then once you got them on, something shifted in you. Something happened, it sounds like.
Yes. And Yelena, like, one thing that I would encourage all of you as you're stepping into this is, you are the main character in this play, and to trust Yelena as the director. She's got this amazing depth of intuitive ability to kind of play out the scene. And I just could not believe when I went into her studio and we sat there and we were going over, I don't know, hundreds of images of me. It's like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. I mean, the biggest issue was how to pare it down and how to, I think I have 12 photographs on my wall in my home of me and or my family and or my dogs.
So that's incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing, because it really does. I think when we're talking about this, it's women really coming into the essence of themselves, and to be able to have, Yelena behind the lens and doing her magic and bringing out that in people, that's really what this message is, getting her message out there and really letting people know. And I love the fact that we were also mentioning, too, it's about the memories with your parents and your son and your dog, and just really seeing you for the essence of the woman that you are. So thank you so much for sharing that. It was really beautiful.
And they are timeless. Her work is timeless. Like, even though she said it was 2008. To me, I look at the pictures and it's like it was yesterday, and they will be up on my wall tomorrow. And that's just the way it is. And I really want to commend you, Linda, for highlighting an artist like this, because I know artists in the world, sometimes it's a little challenging to get our work out there. And Yelena really, really needs to be seen by the women of the world. And when she talked about that analogy of royalty and portraits, it's like, you go, girl. I haven't heard that before, but you're right.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I know, it's so true. Well, thank you so much for that, because it's it's really about awakening people and really coming into your own. And so, thank you so much for really sharing yourself and your story, and just giving Yelena this beautiful testimonial of really how it makes a difference in your own life. So thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The pleasure is mine.
Wow. Well, how great is that, Yelena? Really, when it's such when people find their passion, when you have that passion for really making a difference in the lives of another person, there's no words for that. It really isn't. And that's really what you're doing. What I heard from her was just, it touches your heart in a way that it's like, wow, like, every woman needs to hear this. Every woman needs to have the experience of what it feels like to see and to feel mainly really feeling like when she talked about putting on those wings and, that just like, wow. And it was interesting because it was one of my questions I wanted to ask you because it's so, how do women react to, a certain outfit that you're like, here, try this on, or, peering or peeking behind the bushes or looking at a rose or something, and something happens with that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're definitely the director.
Yes, and of course I'm there for my clients, to help them to select the dresses. But also it's interesting, I kind of like a coach, and therapist in a way, and when my clients resist to something, I am like gently guide them to go there, like I had a client the other day, she's like, oh, I don't do the cold open shoulders dresses, and I'm like very gently, oh, we're going there. Like what is there? What is behind that? We need to walk through that, So I ask my clients to trust me, and when they do, they surprised, and when they see the photos, most of the time they cry. It's tears of joy, tears of surprise, and women see that they say they never thought they could be so beautiful, Because there are two types of women who come to me. One type is women, they know they are beautiful and they want to celebrate themselves. But this is small percentage. It's maybe like 10% of all women. 90% of women who like drawn to me because they want to heal something. Yes. And they come to me, most of the time it's through some personal connection or some recommendation, so they can feel that they can trust me and open up. So when they come to me for original consultation, it's a photo session. I never schedule a photo session right away. I always schedule a consultation, a kind of like get to know each other and plan kind of our session. I have women like open their heart to me and share their life stories, because they want to heal something through this goddess embodiment photo session. And this is what usually happens. So this way they cry, like they see these photos and they cry. It's tears of healing.
I love that. I love it. Well, before we go any further, I wanted to be able to let the listeners and the audience know how can they contact you to see more of what the portraits, because they will see some on the video as well. But how can someone get in touch with you to get started in really doing a healing, finding their own essence? How can they get in touch with you?
Yes, my website is www.photographerofjoy.com. And also there are a lot of goddess images on my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Yelena, Yelena, Yelena.photographer-of-joy. One word, photographer of joy.
Wonderful. And we'll have that information at the end of the video, too, but I just want, in case anyone is listening right now, they can really, look up your site right now and just go in there and start viewing that. But, going back to this healing, I feel that's so true, that something does happen, and you don't really think about it, but as you were talking, I'm like, wow, when you start to see, just the really seeing yourself for the first time.
Yes, exactly. And think of some women being put down very often by, their boyfriend, sometimes husband, and also like women put down themselves. Even look at the language. Sometimes women talk about themselves. I hear I'm like, oh my God, how can you say that about yourself? This is actually how it started for me. Like I just couldn't accept how some of my even girlfriends were speaking about themselves, calling themselves I'm not even going to repeat, like, let me say, unbeautiful words, not beautiful descriptions. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat. So I'm like, no, it needs to be changed. And every woman deserves to be seen by the eyes of someone who believes and sees her as beautiful. And I am that person. I see every woman as beautiful, even if she doesn't believe and doesn't see it herself. This is why, like, I deal with goddess photo session. I'll prove you're gorgeous.
I love that. And I think, too, what came to mind when you were speaking as well is there's a lot of trust for them with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you're breaking down all barriers and they're just falling into your arms, right? Really falling into the camera. So there has to be a lot of trust there. And it sounds like there's really this breaking of the barriers and them really falling into that, which is beautiful in itself, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As I said, I always insist on initial meeting. Like when someone calls me for the first time, someone I don't know, I always suggest we meet first and just have a conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we've got 3 minutes left in the show, and I really, want to ask you, what is one gem that you can share with the audience that was for your own, that happened in your own awakening that brought you to where you're at now?
Wow. It's so much, of course. But one time, a few years ago, I actually had a dream, and in the middle of the night, I woke up and I wrote down. And the message I got in my dream was about the essence of a soul, right? And the message was, the soul is an eternal part of us that connects us to everyone and everything and help us to experience oneness with each other.
Wow. Like no words. I mean, that was so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that was so beautiful. Well, Yelena, thank you so much, really, for being on the show today. Thank you for our listener that joined in with us today and sharing your story and the testimonial and how Yelena's work has changed your life. Thank you again so much, and thank you for all of our listeners that tuned in today and who will be joining us after the show to watch the video, and you will be able to see portraits of pictures of Yelena's work as well. So, Yelena, it's amazing, and I just, congratulate you for, being and doing your passion of what you love and really helping women to find the essence and find that beautiful part of themselves and healing them. So thank you so much for what you do and bringing this to the world.
Yes, my pleasure, my delight. And thank you so much, Linda, for giving me this opportunity to share my passion, my message with the women. I feel honored. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, thank you again to all of our listeners out there, and please follow us, subscribe, comment, and like. And then you can join us next week, May 14th, for our next show, The Transformational Power of Classical Music. So, Yelena, thank you again so much for being on the show, and we look forward to seeing the portraits and the pictures that will be on the video and really, seeing you out there in the world and your message. And thank you to all the listeners, and thank you again for our listener that joined us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.